to this special edition of The Writer's Dream. My name is Linda Maria Frank, and I am the author of any Tillery Mystery Series. The Writer's Dream is a show where authors can talk about how they write their book, how they publish their books, and how they market their books. I'd like to spend some time today talking about how you can use the Writer's Dream program as a marketing program and how you can also do a very good interview. You can find the Writer's Dream shows on YouTube. Just put in the Writer's Dream in the search box or my name, Linda Maria Frank. You can also find us, we have a Facebook page called The Writer's Dream. If you have a published book and would like to do an interview, contact us through that Facebook page. We've had more than 100 different authors covering all genre of book on the show, and you can find some very interesting information about writing, about publishing, and about marketing. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is how to use your DVD from this interview as a marketing tool. First of all, the studio here at LTV makes a wonderful, good quality DVD disc of your show. It's the best I've ever seen. And what happens is you can purchase that disc for $12. I purchase a disc and I will put it on YouTube. So I put your show on YouTube. Once it's on YouTube, then you can move that interview to almost any site on the internet. What you do is you go to my YouTube channel, which is The Writer's Dream or my name, look for your video, click on the video, and underneath that video you will see the word share. If you click on the word share, a code comes up in blue. Right-click and copy it, and then you can copy it into whatever site you would like to put it on. For instance, you can put it on your Facebook page. One of the things that authors who are new to the business learn, especially if you're a self-published author, is that social media is absolutely essential for marketing your book. It's very difficult to do any marketing if you're not a famous person without social media. So once you take that code, you can put it on your Facebook page, but you can also, underneath the video on YouTube, you will see the icon for Twitter. And what will happen is you can actually tweet out the code for your show. So that's a way of sharing it. You can take it to your website. If you have a website, do so. You can put it on Goodreads. You can put it on 1,000 Words Plus. You can put it on Readers' Favorites, iHeartReading, Cold Coffee Press. There are so many sites on the internet where you can post your book and they will allow you to post videos. People like to look at videos. They don't want to read a whole lot of not dialogue, but prose about your books. They'd much rather see you talking about your book. That's the way things are today, and it's very important that you realize that and that you do use social media. If you have a blog, you can also put it on your blog or put a link to it on your blog. And if you're watching this and you have some interesting blogs or good blogs that you'd like to recommend to us, please contact us through that Writer's Dream Facebook page. Okay, so that's a marketing tool. And I mean, really, I've given you some hints to really spread your interview all over the place. Okay, doing a good interview. You have a half an hour to talk about your book. It's your half hour. I love a talker when I have an interview because I really like to ask some leading questions and then have the person talk about their books. You know your book better than anybody. So before the interview, what you should think about is, what's the message I want to get out about my book? And I think in terms of an elevator pitch. Do you know what an elevator pitch is? This is kind of I think, a comical thing. Suppose you were on an elevator and you were going from the first floor to the fifth floor, and in that elevator was a person who would publish your book. What would you say to them between the first and the fifth floor to convince them that they want to publish your book? So what I did was I included my elevator pitch. I don't know if this would take me to the fifth floor or the 20th floor, so you be the judge. So mine's a mystery series. Do you love a mystery? How about a ghost story? Grab some pure entertainment. Enter the world of Nancy Drew meets CSI. Follow the new girl detective, Annie Tillery, as she navigates her way through the intriguing plots and good forensic science, narrowly escaping the dangers of keeping those pages turning. Of course, I'm reading this, so it sounds like it's being read. But if you're saying it in an interview, you're going to say it just like conversational talking. I loved writing her stories. The first one, The Madonna Ghost, takes her to Fire Island to solve the mystery of a tragic ghost who's masking a plot that impacts national security. There she meets Ty Egan, with whom she falls in love. Together they narrowly escape death, solving the mysteries found in Fire Island. So you get the idea. Short phrases, catchy phrases. I've been told by some marketing people that Nancy Drew meets CSI really grabs attention. So think in terms of that message before you do the interview. How can you make your message really concise? And then keep going back to it. Another phrase that I use is, my books are just pure fun. Oftentimes in interviews, I'm asked, what will people get out of your book? What's the message you want? And more than anything, I want them to have fun. So make sure that you do a reading from your book. Pick something that's really enticing. I've done some really dumb things in interviews where I picked a part of one of my books to read, and as I'm reading it, I'm thinking to myself, this is really not the most interesting or exciting part of the book. So make sure you do a reading. Read something from your book. You're proud of your book, find the part that you like best. Use anecdotes in your interview. Anecdotes about yourself, about your writing. People who are watching interviews want to know about you. So if you have some interesting stories about how you became a writer, something that happened to you in your youth, something that inspired you to write a story, use that anecdote. Use the anecdotes that you have about publishing. You might have a funny story about being rejected or being accepted, and also marketing. I have some funny stories about things that I've done in the marketing process that aren't always really the most effective things, but of course you learn from your mistakes. Make sure that you keep things in the context of questions. Don't just come with anecdotes and stories that have nothing to do with the interviewer's questions. Make sure that you get the interview questions beforehand. Some interviewers don't like to do that. If that's the case, if you have an interviewer who won't release the questions to you, send them some suggested questions that you would like to use. I had an interview once where I really wasn't allowed to do too much talking. The interviewer did most of the talking, and she did a lot of research on me, and she asked me a question about some arcane thing I must have said somewhere along the line, and I had no idea what she was talking about. It was really pretty embarrassing. So try to get a handle on the interview questions. Don't get sidetracked. It's very easy in an interview, once you're talking, to get sidetracked. Come back to your main message. Come back to your book. Come up with a piece of advice for writers. That's one of the questions I like to ask. What advice would you give to a writer? Think about your own experiences and what's like the best thing that you have to tell a writer. Probably not a good idea to say don't do it. Look your best. Don't chew gum, the usual things. You have that first impression is very important. You want to look interested. You want to speak clearly. Don't do this. I can't tell you how many people will answer a question like this, and it's really not effective. Practice smiling. I have the hardest time with smiling during my interviews. If I'm just having a conversation with somebody, it's easy, but sometimes when I'm answering questions myself in an interview, I'm always told, smile, smile. So make sure that you practice talking while you're smiling. So those are that's my best advice for using the writer's dream as a marketing tool, and also for doing a good interview, what I consider a good interview. Come prepared with a lot of things to say. So thanks, and I hope to see you on the Writer's Dream. Remember, if you have a published book, just get to us through the Writer's Dream Facebook. Bye now.